Hyper Dad fam, what is good? We are back again for episode 3. Thank you for tuning in. Boog, what's good, baby?
What's up, man? Just another blessed day in parenthood, man.
How was the week for you, man?
Busy as always, but hey, at the end of the day, it's Friday, so we made it through another week.
Exactly, man. I'm just glad it's the weekend. Weather's getting better. Everything's looking good. I just can't wait.
Bro, I've been waiting for the last 7 days since the last time we recorded for this episode, bro.
Nah, it's definitely, we definitely are bringing good topics, man. Like everybody's been hitting me saying, hey man, let's talk about this, talk about that. But tell the people what we're gonna talk about today, man.
So today I think we need to hit home for all of our fathers out there. This episode is going to be about how to balance your parenthood life and also your relationship with your partner, your significant other, your wife, your girl. You know what I mean? I think that's very important for us.
Nah, that's huge. That's big because, like we were talking about multiple times, we have different guy friends and different good friends that are in different situations. Some are married, some are not married, some have long-term partnerships, just different relationships. But we always see that that trigger or something goes wrong where it might be their relationship is being cut off by their parenthood. Exactly. You know what I mean? That's definitely a topic we need to hit on. And it's just something that, it's reality. That happens.
For sure, bro. It completely is. And let me set the record straight. I'm not trying to get everyone back together because, like I said, I don't know everybody's situation. But I want to bring it to the forefront to let dudes know that, like, it's a real thing. You know what I mean? You can lose your relationship in parenthood. So you got to be able to learn how to balance of both. And I think that's very key.
Let's start off with the beginning. So everything's all lovey-dovey. You know what I mean? We at the honeymoon stage, kissing, this, that, and the third. And then from there, we get into having the baby.
Right.
So let's talk about, like, what do you think is like the first signal of things changing a little bit?
You find your time being consumed elsewhere now. You got another key component in your life. You know what I mean? It's not just y'all two anymore. It may just be you have a child or you have twins. You know what I mean? Like there's another component thrown in the mix. And as humans, we don't like change. You know what I mean? Not saying having children is a bad thing. But when there's another component, like I said, thrown into your daily routine, it can razzle people,
Nah, you're definitely right, man. You come from having an experience where it's just y'all two. You guys are entwined with each other, and now there's something in the middle. Yep. And it's not just you're giving your time. A one-sided thing. It's both. You're giving your time, she's giving her time. So now it's time taken away from both of you guys. Mm-hmm. So you know what I mean? That first instance of time being gone is huge. But also I wanted to say I think it also comes to a point where your feelings are being neglected.
Yeah, that's very true. That's true.
I think that is also, a big part because obviously you tie in the time. You know what I mean? Time is always going to be the first thing because something is in the middle. But then throughout that time, people have feelings. People want to still be affectionate. People still want to be loved. People still want to have sex. You know what I mean? And in that time, those things are neglected.
Oh yeah, nah. Yeah. That famous phrase, eyes tied, boss. When I say that shit comes around, that shit comes around. That's a real thing. You think it's like just for movies and shit when people are like, oh, I'm tired, I don't feel like it. No, it's a real thing. Because I feel like, especially at this early point in the stage in parenthood with toddlers, you just want to make it through the day. You know what I mean? You got a lot going on. You come home, you work it, either you're coming home or you're working from home. Then you get your kids come home, they're all riled up, you know what I mean? They're ready to go. That's the first person they see. And it's kind of like your lover falls into the background because the kids come first, obviously. So you got to find that it's very simple. You know what I mean? Little things. When she walks in the door, give her a kiss. You know what I mean? Like I've been trying to encourage that more in the household because, you know, that's how those little things can add up to the bigger picture.
Nah, that you're definitely right. But also, sometimes people hold grudges, man. Yeah. And sometimes people are always gonna put, you know, well, I was working on doing things with the kid, and I didn't have time to bring up that issue. You know what I mean? So once again, we're back at square one. We're talking about time. When people, you know, have differences, the first thing they say is, well, I didn't have the time. I was doing the time with the baby. I was doing this with the baby. So yeah, the little things are important, but you know, sometimes people hold on to those little things not doing. So you walk through the door, you don't get a kiss. Now it's like, all right, I'm gonna hold on to that. I'm gonna hold on to those little things.
And that's the problem. And that's the problem right there. You just hit the nail on the head, bro. That's the problem. We hold on to so much shit, like every little thing that we don't get, we almost become selfish in a sense. You know what I mean?
So
like, oh,
how do we get away from that though? Like, what are some things? Let's hit on like some of the things that we do from getting away from holding on to little things, having that pride. Because shit, I ain't even gonna lie. I used to be a person, I had big pride, but you know, I've given a lot up throughout my time growing up and being more mature. But how do you deal with it?
You gotta remind yourself constantly that it's not about you. You gotta remind yourself constantly it's not about fucking you anymore. It's not about Boog. It's not about GQ anymore. It's not about so and so. It's not, you know what I mean. It's not about you anymore. You got to think about that because if you don't,
hold on. I'm about to play devil's advocate. So what about people where it's just like, all right, so you saying it's not about you, but now people get into a point where they start saying, yo, you know what? Yeah, it's not about me. It's about me and the kid. And then they start leaving the third person out. Because people get to that point.
And people need to get the fuck over themselves, bro. Honestly, it's not that serious. That whole it's not about it's just me and the kid. No, it's never parenthood is about being selfless. That's the number one rule. You got to be selfless with your time, with your energy, where you direct yourself as far as to how you engage with the rest of your kids throughout the day. Like, so fuck all that. I'm not trying to hear that it's about me and the kid because it's not, bro. It's about.
Yo, it's easy to say that.
I know it's easier said than done, but like,
to say that,
bro, like if you really were about your child, you would know it's not about you or their mother or you. You would know it's about that child.
So hold on. So I'm about to hit on this now. So you're doing everything for the child. You do it, like I said, it's you and the child. So you're doing everything for the child. But like I said, people have feelings, man. People want to feel loved. So hold on. Everything is good with the baby, though. Everything is good with the baby. The baby's being taken care of, food, everything, learning, the attention, everything. But then you gotta also play that partner role too, man.
Yeah, you do. And that's what you gotta, and you have to fight. You gotta get creative with the shit. You have to.
But some people not creative. How you get creative? Hold on.
It doesn't take that long. It doesn't take that long. It doesn't take that long.
Hold on. How you get creative, right? After you have tried multiple times to be affectionate with someone, you tried multiple times to kiss them throughout the door, and they might have they come through the door, and the first thing they go is they focus on something else. They focus on the kiss. So now in the back of your mind, you're like, I tried multiple times, man. I tried multiple times. So now people get caught into that. Okay, it's me and the kid now, yo. It's me and the kid.
I'm not trying to hear that, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to hear that. I get it. People get like that. And I understand your feelings. Let me put this out there. I'm not disregarding anyone's feelings. You know what I mean? People can feel a certain way about how they maneuver in their household and how they direct their feelings towards their lover and their child. I get that. I 100% understand. But to this situation, right? Have you tried bringing home flowers and she doesn't expect it? Have you done the little things that kind of add to the bigger picture? So if you haven't tried that and it doesn't work, okay, cool. I understand your point. Then you got to have that talk. You got to sit down. Hey, look, I understand we got a child, but we need to figure out what we need to get back to what brought us here at this point right now. You know what I
True,
mean?
true,
I could
true.
see if it was like, you know what I mean? She's just not paying me no mind. But I'm not doing the little things. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to go out of my way to make sure she feels my presence, my love, my energy towards her. You know what I mean? Just the other day, this past week, I went out, was going to the grocery store, pick up some chicken for the babies, and I was walked past some flowers. I thought, you know what? Shit, Ashley might like these. Brought some flowers home. She didn't expect it. You know what I mean? You can do little shit that kind of just like, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's going to add to the value of your relationship.
So I'm about to, you
Go ahead.
You give me good points. I'm right now playing
Play devil's advocate again.
So maybe, all right. So you get the flowers, right?
All right.
She don't really say too much. She like, yo, thank you.
Cool.
All right. All right. That's one. That's step one, right? That's the first one. The next joint is she's not communicating that she's feeling a certain way. So how are you gonna know? So look at this. On top of that, you brought the flowers, right? She really not feeling it. She like, well, that shit was just some flowers. Then she's still, hold on. Now look at this. She's still thinking that. She's still thinking like, yo, this was just some flowers. Like, I want him to do some better shit, this, that, and the third. She's just thinking those stuff, but she's not telling you, right? So now it comes on to the communication part where you think, all right, I got the flowers, I did this, that, and the third, it's cool. But to her, it's not okay. So how do we get past that? So now you're going out your way to do something, and then on top of that, it's not good and it's not being communicated.
You just said it, bro. You just said it. What's the key word you just said? You know what I'm talking about. Communication.
Communication.
You gotta get that chemistry back. You gotta figure it out. If everything you're doing is going unnoticed, you have to sit down and have that talk. I think a lot of men are scared to have that conversation.
I think that's the nail in the coffin right there. I think the communication part, sitting down and really having that conversation.
Because it's almost like you got to get back to square one with your relationship. In the sense that like in the beginning, when you guys were talking about what each other liked and you know what I mean, what we liked and disliked, you almost kind of got to do that again in this space because it's a different life. You know what I mean? Like you gotta not saying you have to relearn your woman all over again, but you know what I mean? Your time and energy is directed in other places that you might not even think about something. You know what I mean? It might go unnoticed that you brought her flowers home, you know what I mean? But you got to have that talk and figure out what rejuvenates your relationship. It's communication. It's chemistry. It's just like me and you on a basketball team. We can't go out and play a game if we haven't practiced and we haven't got to know each other and what we do well on the court, what we don't do well.
Yeah, nah, you definitely hit it on the head. You got to sit down and have that talk, but individuals just don't want to do it because now look at this. Because you giving me everything good, I'm gonna give you everything bad.
Yeah.
Some people are just not good communicators. So, and you can't say everyone's gonna sit down and be like, yo, we gotta have that talk. Because
I don't do that. I can tell you right now, I'm not the best communicator in the world.
So let me ask you this. That's perfect. Things are rolling now.
It's so, coming about.
Say for example, and these are just examples. Ashley does something, it goes unnoticed, right? She does something, she buys you a t-shirt that you wanted, and you just like, yo, thanks, yo. You throw that shit in the bag, or you throw that shit upstairs, right? To her, she like, dang, he really wanted that shit. Like, he kind of threw that off, right? That's one. Then on top of that, it's like something else is bothering you. Like she might have triggered something, not cooked something, or told you something, just something little, right? Mm-hmm. And you didn't tell her about that. Now, how do you get to the point where you're sitting down and you're having that conversation? Because in her mind, she's thinking everything's okay. But like you said, you're not a good communicator. So how are you getting to that point where you're sitting down and you be like, yo, I need to talk about this, and you're really not outspoken?
It comes with time. I've learned that you can't just bottle shit up anymore. You know what I mean? Because a lot of unsaid shit will go left. You know what I mean? Like any situation, because in men we like to compartmentalize a lot of shit. You know, we got a lot going on. We feel the world on our shoulders a lot. So we kind of just like keep it between our ears. For some reason, I don't know why we do it, but we do it. I don't know if it's just a sense of toughness that we think that it is, but it's not. You got to break yourself down for your woman. You know what I mean? You gotta,
that's how we were brought up, man. You know,
we kind of got to teach ourselves that like it's okay to be sensitive to your woman. It's okay to talk about, hey, I'm having a bad day.
You know, but that's a lot. That's a lot, though. That's a lot to ask for. It's like, and this is what I'm saying. I'm glad that you're saying all these things, because everything you're saying is proper. It's great, but it's easier said than done, because now listen to this. And I tell people this all the time. You're asking a dude that's not really a communicator to be a communicator, be in touch with himself.
I'm not asking. I'm not saying that the people who, because some people don't like to talk about their feelings. I'm not saying you have to just come out and be this just boisterous person when it comes to your feelings now. I'm not saying that. Because some people, it's a sense of protection. You know what I mean? They don't want to expose themselves with their feelings.
But you gotta
try. If you
want, you gotta throw all of that out.
You got to, but you're right. And you got to throw all that. That was my next point. You got to throw all that out. I'm not saying you have to do it 24/7, but you got to show a sense of effort. All women want is just effort from us. And just like we just want effort from, they want a little bit more, but you know what I mean? You want just effort from your woman, not in the emotional aspect, you know what I mean? Like just being there for you when you're down, being up there when you're at your highest and when you're at your lowest, you know what I mean? It's effort. Effort takes you a long way.
Effort is big. The next thing I would say is definitely being romantic, physical, affectionate. That is the nail in the coffin. You know what I mean? I think a lot of, guys and people in relationships, when they do get that baby, intimacy is lost.
It is at times. It cannot be lost completely, but at times it's lackluster.
It's
like
lost.
I said, eyes tied, boss. You feel me?
Intimacy is lost at different times. You know what I mean? It could be lost during pregnancy. It could be lost during the baby, and it could be lost either, right after people are, getting to that groove of things, like where they think they're getting things back. They think they're falling in love back, but it's just not popping. And I think that's a huge thing, because as men, we are sex driven. You know what I mean? We love to be aggressive. We love to be sexual. So when we are dealing with someone, especially someone that we love or care about, and they're not being sexual with us, sometimes, that causes us to shut down. Shut down.
It makes you feel like, it kind of can make you feel like, I can see how it can make you feel like you lost your touch with your woman.
No, definitely. I think not only lose your touch, man, but niggas be horny. People be horny. It's the same thing with women. Like, and it's the same thing for women too, man. It's vice versa. Women also could be very, very sexual too, but their, significant other says, "Oh, I'm working. I'm tired. I'm tired, babe. Yeah. I really don't find you," not saying they're saying this, but they don't find their significant other attractive anymore.
And that's where I was saying at the beginning of the episode, like, you gotta find, that tired shit's out the window. If you really want this shit to mesh, you gotta really dig deep down and find that energy wherever it is. I know some people may not, their sexual relationship, I understand. But when it comes to putting effort into focus, making sure your relationship is key, you gotta have that second wind almost, Some people don't, and don't get me wrong, some people just don't have it in them. And I'm not saying it that way.
When do you think that second wind is supposed to come? So you had the baby is here. give me some type of time frame where you're saying, you know what, you might have to dig deep in your bag and get right.
Well, it's going to be, first of all, it's going to be the first. Me personally, I think it's like around the first 6 to 9 months, because that's when shit is haywire. I think when shit's at its all-time high, you got a child that doesn't sleep, you have a child who has colic, or you know what I mean, who is up all night. Yeah, it's true. And you just gotta find it. You gotta, do it. Then that, like I said, the little things. That time is when you need the little things, because both y'all asses is dog tired, because y'all only slept 5 hours the night before, both of you. So you gotta just do the little things, bro. It's the little things that matter. You know what I mean? Women, I feel like women don't need a lot from us. They do, but I'm saying, like, they don't need, like, as far as effort and energy into our relationship. It's just the little things to them that really matters. I know there's some women out there that are just hype minutes. They need certain shit. Cool, I get that. But the majority of women, I feel like they just want that touch from us, you know what I mean, to make sure that we still are in love with them after they've had our child, because now they're going through physical changes, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you still gotta lay the Mac down every once in a while, you know what I mean? You just gotta let them know you still love her. Like, hey, I'm with you forever, you know what I mean?
I would say, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna say when you start to get into a routine is when you start to notice, like, yo, I gotta dig deeper, because
so is it a two-parter, you think? Is it kind of like in the initial shock stage, and then like when you get finally settled in?
No, because I think that's your point of view. You know what I mean? You said that 6 to 9 months. I believe, or I think, when you start getting into that routine, because like we talked about on the last episode, that you guys need to tune in on YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, is you start to just go through the normal, you know what I mean? And you are kind of tunnel vision of just doing what you need to do. And sometimes you lose track of, like, yo, I should have got flowers. Yo, I should have kissed her when she came through out the door. Yeah, I should have cooked for him. Yeah, I shouldn't talk to him that way. You lose those instances because you're just caught in the moment. You're just doing everything. I gotta go to work. I gotta pick up the kid. I gotta make sure this is right. I gotta put the kid to bed. I gotta make sure I bath the kid. I gotta make sure I feed the kid. You just get caught so much. So I say once people kind of snap out of that, that's when you kind of realize, like, all right, man, I gotta get in my bag. Like, we haven't gone.
So then if you say it's that part when you get into the routine, and I agree with you. It's when you get into that routine schedule. So can we sit here and say that it because when the child is first born, you got a routine, right?
No, I would say it's a little bit. I say it's a little bit new, though. You don't necessarily have a routine yet. Everything's new to you. So like you still have like that excitement a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, you still have, like, yo, I just changed a diaper, or yo, I just burped her, or so you still have that excitement in you of like little things that you were doing for the first time, like, yo, she just smiled, this, that, and the third. So sometimes y'all both get caught into that. Y'all get caught into that all the time.
Kind of overshadow, you saying?
Yeah, like, oh my God, we put her down for the first time. Oh, she slept for 3 hours. Oh, we put her down for a nap. Oh, she didn't cry. You get caught in that. So you like, yo, yeah, we doing good. We doing that. You know what I mean? But then after that, you start getting into your routine to where you're like, yo, all right, yo, we got past that first step. Now we got to start doing the daycare, or yo, we got to start getting back to work. Yep. After that is when you kind of, boom, you start to fall in it. You start to just go with your head down. Just, all right, yo, I'm gonna do this.
Ready for this word? You start getting complacent.
Yeah, that's it, man. You start being
in your routine.
Yeah, in the routine. You start getting comfortable with doing the normal, doing the regular. Okay, man, I'm tired, man. I went to work, man. It's time to sleep. All right, man.
I was like that for a while. you gotta I feel like everybody, not everybody goes through. In my opinion, I think we all go ups and downs. We have our ups and downs. You know what I mean? There's just times where you're just tired, you feel dog tired. There's times where you just have the extra energy. Like, let me do something around here. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this. This is the switcheroo. What about, we talking about people coming home, right? We coming home with our significant other and doing this together. What about the people that are not with their significant other and they come around when it's time to come around? How difficult is that now for them? Because now they're not doing the routine every day.
They're not doing the honey, I'm home. They coming.
Nah,
Hey, what's
nah.
up? You gotta be. I've always said this.
They doing the honey, are we there yet?
Yeah, no. My thing is, I've said this from the beginning, and then not just in regards to my relationship, but just like in general, like when you have a child with somebody who you may not be married with or you're not with, no matter what happens in your lifetime, y'all are tied together
For life.
For life. Whether y'all had a bad falling out, at the end of the day, y'all got a child together. So you gotta be cordial, because anything can happen. You know what I mean? You don't want any resentment for your relationship with your child's parent reflect on how you're able to communicate with your child and her at the same time. So you got to be cordial. You got to still communicate. You know
Yo,
what I mean?
but listen, I don't need to communicate if I'm not in the house. I'm gonna do my own thing.
Yes, the fuck you do have to communicate. All right.
It's easy, but it's easy not to.
It's easy not to, because it's less work. For
Yes.
Some people, it's less work. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about anything, but no, you gotta communicate. You know what I mean? You gotta know you still should and want to feel intertwined in your child's schedule, whether you're in the house or not. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be able to go to all their dance recitals, basketball games, practices. If you want to pick them up, take them to practice. You want to get them on the weekends. There's got to be some kind of level of communication, and that's where a lot of shit falls off. Oh, well, I don't feel like dealing with her.
That's the quote right there. I'm not really trying to deal with her right now.
I'm not. I don't want to deal with her. And that's where we get confused. We intertwine our relationship and parenthood together. No, you don't do that. You can't, especially when you're not together. Don't let y'all relationship have a bad turnout, and now it reflects on how you are able to see and communicate your child.
Never.
No, you don't want that, dude. That's a headache and a half, probably. Never been there, won't be there. But what I'm saying is, that's got to be a headache for a man. You know what I mean? Like, damn, she's still nagging me. We ain't together. She's still nagging my ass, and now I can't see my child. Like, you don't want that feeling, bro. So regardless, y'all are stuck together for the rest of your life. If you want to be in your child's life, you're stuck together. So you probably want to lay a foundation of communication with her.
But like you said, man, she's nagging. She's nagging, man. What are we gonna do, Lawrence? She's nagging me right now.
You don't live in the fucking house.
So tell me right now.
You're dealing with a nagging, bro. What is 15 minutes of your 24 hours of a day?
Yo, tell me what I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna give you an example. So I'm gonna say, I got a young lady pregnant. We have a kid together, and she nags me. She calls me out my name. She says I'm this and that. She makes me feel like I'm not worth anything. She says, terrible stuff about me to my kid. Now tell me, how do I go forward to make that relationship better if I'm being not useful? I'm looked upon like I'm a useful piece of shit.
One, let me ask you this: are you doing everything you can to make sure you're involved in your child's life?
I'm trying to. That's the first thing they're gonna say. I'm trying to call her. I'm trying to FaceTime her. She don't pick up.
People be saying they try, and that shit falls by the wayside, bro. Maybe I'm just too tough-minded, because in my mind, I'm thinking, bro, regardless if we're together or not, I'm gonna do whatever I can to make sure I am as involved with my child's life as you are. And it's tougher for men because sometimes, a lot of the time, the child goes with their mother.
Mm-hmm.
My parents weren't together. I lived with my mom. So you have to be almost like tenfold invested in what your child is doing, what they're about, because you don't see them around the clock. And I said, I get it. You're in a situation. She's nagging you, bro. Get the fuck over it. She's not gonna be nagging you forever. It's not like you live with her. She's nagging you. Let her nag you. Let her nag you to death.
Hold on. She is, like you said, we are in this together for life.
You are. So that's why you need to figure out what the problem is. Communication. Shane, GQ. Well, how many times do I have to say it? It's communication. You got to figure out what am I doing wrong that's ticking her off to make her talk bad about me to my child and to everybody else in the world.
She bitter. She mad that I'm not with her.
Why is she bitter? Because you're not. Because is just because you're not with her?
Yeah, I found out that she's not worth anything, and I don't want to be with her.
You found out she's not worth anything, so you gotta break that line of communication somehow, bro. Like I don't know I can't tell you any other way. Okay, she's gonna have to suck it the hell up. He doesn't want to be with you. GQ doesn't want to be in this situation. GQ doesn't want to be with you, right? Okay, I get it. You need to sit down and have a conversation. Yeah, we didn't work out. At the end of the day, it's not about us. It's about this child that we have together. And I understand that you may have some resentment towards me and how I operate and how I operated in our relationship outside of parenthood. I get that. But at the end of the day, it's about our child. You know what I mean? We want to make sure our child is happy. And we want our child to know that both of their parents love them just as equally, even though they're not together.
Now, I love how everything is like full circling back to communication.
Yeah.
And that's key. Like and that's in any relationship, not just relationship with your significant other, but just relationships just in general in life. You know what I mean? At work, for sports, anything. We have to communicate to be better individuals to work together, you know?
And I think that sometimes some men don't want to take it that step. They don't want to sit down and have that conversation with the mother of their child because she's nagging them and you know what I mean? She talks dirt about them. Like nobody wants to sit down, and I understand that some women do, but you gotta man up, bro. Either you want to be involved in your child's life or not. So you best talk to this lady because she's the gatekeeper. Plain and simple. Like she determines everything. Like if you're not together, she determines a lot.
Who do you think can help men get through those issues of communication?
Each other.
I'm gonna say without each other, because sometimes you got to look outside to actually, dig deep. So what would you say are individuals that could help men, just look at a different side of things? Like, you know what, man, you're right, man. Like, I gotta look, because I'm gonna say, the first thing I'm gonna say is, man, your parents, your father.
Your father, your mother, because you really want to talk to your mother because you can see it through a woman's eyes.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like you can see, like, okay, well, why is she nagging you? Did you say you were going to do something that you didn't do? Whether if it's something small or something major, you know what I mean? Did you not do anything? Did you miss a step throughout your day? You're supposed to be there for your child and you weren't there. Your mother's gonna play devil's advocate no matter what, because she can relate to the woman a little bit.
No, I think your mother is key, because like you said, you hit it on the head. You can see it through a woman's eyes. I also think friends too, man.
That's why I said each other.
Huh?
That's why I said each other. We gotta lean on each other. We gotta show to our friends that it's okay being vulnerable.
Yeah, definitely. When you said each other, I thought you were saying like each other meaning both parties.
No, I'm saying like your friends.
Yeah. Okay, all right, yeah. I believe that too, man, because I feel like once again with a lot of things, our peers, we look to our peers for accomplishment in life. So like if we post a dope picture of our outfit, if our friends are like, yo, you dripping, yo, you looking good, that to us, that's good. On a basketball court, yo, you got a wet jump shot, this, that, and the third. All right, yo, I'm cool. Like, yo, you're smart. You were so smart. We always look to our friends for validation. You know, we look to our friends for a lot of validation throughout life for everything. And once our friends are, you know, communicating with us and saying like, yo, you gotta do better, man. Like, yo, I ain't even see you with the kid in a while. I feel like those little things make people say, you know what, man, like,
you're right.
Lawrence was right. Lawrence was right, man.
And we got to hold each other accountable. That's how we do, because you know what I mean. Like I know with my friends, like, you know what I mean. Those that have children, I always ask about their child. Oh, hey, how's so and so doing? You know what I mean. I know they're heavily involved in your life, or you know what I mean. Whatever, if there was a bad, but I always open up the gate for that conversation just in case if something goes wrong. And who's to say you can't look for validation from your friends when you come to them for help? Hey, I see GQ is really trying to be in this child's life. GQ, you're doing the best you can right now, bro. Stay up, keep your head up. Let's, you know what I mean? Let's talk this out. And we can try to figure out what's going wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's
our best to not give like an unbiased opinion, because at the end of the day, we're gonna ride with our homies no matter what. But you gotta like you gotta play devil's advocate too. Again.
Nah, I think that's huge, especially during this time, because you know, we're not really able to go out and see individuals. So us checking up on each other, us FaceTiming each other, calling each other, texting each other is huge, because sometimes we just don't have that outlet. You know what I mean? We don't have that outlet to talk to, but our friends hold a lot of weight. And like you said, man, I love that accountability part, man. We have to do that as friends, because sometimes friends will be like, all right, yo, fuck it, man. He doing whatever he's supposed to do, whatever. Like, I really don't care. But yo, that as we get older, man, yo, that's one thing I start to understand. We have to hold our friends accountable for the actions that they make in their life, and if they have kids in their kids' life. It's huge, because at the same time, it's where I look at it too. Same thing I talk about my buddies. I've never had a friend that didn't take care of their kid. And I wouldn't even accept that. I would have to confront you up front. I've never had a friend that didn't take care of their kid, because I was confronting. Huh?
What does that conversation look like for you then? Because I know a lot of men, some friends don't, some friends are just, you know, my friend's not dead or in jail, we cool. But how does that conversation look like for you? Because you hold your, like I said, accountability. Like, how would you direct it to me if it was like if I was in that type of situation?
So first off, when I say friend and my buddy, I'm talking about someone I talk to all the time. Yeah. I got friends that they might be in that situation, but I'm not in that position to step to them like that. But if it's me and you and we talk all the time, you know, first I'm gonna evaluate the situation from the things that you tell me and stuff like that. Like, I don't really see you post a baby. I don't really see you around the baby. I don't really see you taking videos of the baby. You know, I'm gonna ask you like, yo, what's up? What's up with you know, little homie? You know, from then on, you know, you're gonna explain to me. It might be a good situation, might not be a bad one. And then from there, I will continue to evaluate it. But when we get to a point where I can see that you're not really in the kid's life, or you're not excited for the kid, especially for me coming from a father. So I know, you know, certain things that men should be doing, you know what I mean? Like, yo, should be showing pictures of your kid. Like, yo, this is my kid. You know what I mean? You should talk about them a certain way. You should be happy when you smile. If I start to see certain things like that, I'm gonna have to step to you like, yo, what's going on with you and the kid? Like, I ain't really seen you around, or just that and the third. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna ask you about it. And it all comes from, you know, I guess the tone and the delivery that you're giving me. Because now if you get, like you said before, if you give me a delivery like, yo, Shane, you know, I tried, I did this, that, and that, I'm like, all right, cool, keep trying. But if you giving it to me like, man, yo, she be on some bullshit, I ain't even trying to hear it. Now I'm gonna have to step to you like, nah, listen.
Nah, listen, little homie, you gotta pump the brakes, bro, because it's serious.
Yeah,
I've seen situations turn sour because they have a fallout with the mother of the child.
no, definitely, man. You gonna have to step to them because like I hate to say it, man, but if a man can't take care of seed, shit, I don't know what else he's capable of doing around me. You know what I mean? That's his own flesh and blood. If a man can't fully take care of their seed, I don't want you around me. Yeah. I don't want you around me, man. I don't, yeah, because now that makes me seem like I'm cool and I'm tolerating that type of activity with me. You know what I mean? Like, yo, Shane cool with that. Nah, I'm not.
Nah. I don't want to be around. I want to be around other dads that are doing dad things at this point.
Dad things. Yeah. What I mean? And that's that. And I love that you put that today because we might have to start doing word of the day. And I love that you said accountability, man. Accountability is the word. We have to start holding our spouse accountable, our friends accountable, ourselves accountable. Damn, I'm gonna have to post that as a clip. That was good. We gotta start doing that. Accountability is huge, man. I love that you said that today because that's the biggest thing. Like, even though we talk about the time, we talk about our feelings, we talk about the communication, there's a certain level that we got to there's a certain level that we got to with which we love that individual. And that's why we fell in love with them and want to be with them. And if they're not at that level, we got to express that to them, hold them accountable.
Yeah, you got to hold each other accountable, bro. Hey, I'm not saying you got to walk in the room and say, hey, I'm not feeling loved, because she loves you. She loves you. Yeah, she loves you and your stanky damn drawers, all right? She loves you. Just simmer down. But you got to go in there, you know what I mean? Not guns blazing, but just say, hey, look, what's up? What's going on? You figure out what's going on in her world first before you bring up your problems. Or why you're coming to her for this conversation. Because honestly, it couldn't just be resolved just by figuring out what's going on with her. Then you can kind of justify for her actions of what happened previously in the week or last month. So I was asked a question. Hey, what's going on? Like, I noticed you've been off lately. Shit, it's not hard. And we put so much pressure on the conversation. It's not hard at all. It's not hard at all, bro. Because even if you're not together, you know what I mean? And even put in perspective for the men who don't live with the mother of their child and their child. Hey, I know our communication level hasn't been up to par where it usually is. What's up? Is everything going okay? I don't need to know what's going on in your personal life, but I just want to make sure you're good. Because at the end of the day, you're taking care of my child. So I want to know you're okay. You're okay enough to do your motherly duties.
Nah, facts, man. I'm glad we had the discussion, man, because we could just recap to the whole situation, us falling out of being, partners with our significant others, that affecting us being parents, you know what I mean? And we talked about the timing, the timing of not giving time to the individual, not giving time to also yourself too, man. We talked about feelings. We talked about communication, accountability. And then also on top of that, we talked about the 2 time frames where we said that issue might occur. You said it was
the first 6 to 9 months.
First to 6 to 9 months. And I said, once you get into that routine, and I thought we hit some good points today, man.
No, I think today was a very solid episode, bro. Like, I think, especially during the pandemic, because you can easily get yourself confused with like how you feel, because like I can get Bo or Cassie upstairs screaming, and then I'm trying to figure out them, and then I'm taking that emotion from them and putting it on accident when it's not really. I'm not trying to do that. That wasn't meant for you. It was meant for their bad asses, but it wasn't meant for you. And you got to be able to talk to it. Hey, listen, I know I snapped on you earlier. That was not my sole intention. It's just so-and-so was going crazy. It goes back to
delivery, man.
Delivery, communication, accountability, it's all tied in one. Do you really want to do this? Do you really want to be involved in your child's life? All right, well then you're gonna have to do whatever it takes to get to make sure you optimize yourself in that fatherhood capacity. You're gonna have some type of communication with the mother of your child, your partner, your wife, whoever it may be. So
this I'm gonna have to change the gender on this, man. Like I'm gonna have to put this as the learning category when I pick a podcast. Like, man, learn, not entertainment. This was learning. You know what I mean?
I know it was a serious topic, but it was due time for it, I think, especially during a trying time like we are right now.
Yeah, and this is a situation that happens with everyone. Now, maybe there's probably that 1%, 2% that they're doing great. There are great relationships out there, great. But when you get to have that kid, there are times in your relationship, like you said, you got to dig deep in your bag and start, from square one again.
Yeah, you got to start. You got to figure it out. You got to put yourself back in your old shoes and the reason why you were with who you were. Because kind of you are with who you are with. Excuse me. But yeah, it's kind of like you got to put your parenting in. You got to make that seem second nature to you because there's still a learning curve when it comes to parenting. Every day is a new day, but you kind of got to put that second nature. You got to figure out, okay, why am I with my significant other? You know what I mean? What about them brought me to attack, like directing my energy towards them and my love and my, like I said, my energy. You gotta get back to the root.
Nah, you're definitely right, man.
Yeah, bro. But hey, listen, guys, it was a wonderful episode. Episode 3. Hey, we're on the right path. Episode 4 coming out next week. Make sure you guys check us out on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, YouTube. Follow us, Diaper Dads Podcast on IG. We'll check you guys out next week.
All right.
Peace. All right, man. Holla.